Hey, it's Yay for Yarn, and today I'm reviewing Ice Yarn's favorite worsted. So before we get started, I should mention that this yarn was sent to me by Ice Yarns for my review and for me to make a pattern from the yarn. So I did not purchase this yarn myself, but after having used this yarn, I would purchase it myself. And in this review, I'm going to kind of break down why I think that this is a good quality yarn and why it's worth the price. So if you've seen my review on Ice Yarns, my first shipment from Ice Yarns, then you may already be kind of familiar with this yarn because I did give a brief overview of this yarn in that video. But now that I've actually made it into a project, I want to kind of give a more in-depth review on what I think of this yarn, what I think of the quality, the price, and how I like the feel of it, and etc. So first off, favorite worsted is, of course, a worsted weight yarn. And this is a pure acrylic. It's 100% acrylic. Now there are a lot of worsted weight acrylic yarns out there. This is one of many, many, many worsted acrylics that are available right now. And I think this one is a pretty good choice, good quality, very affordably priced, and I think it's very well made, especially for an acrylic yarn. So this yarn comes in 100 gram skeins, which is 3.5 ounces per skein, and we get 229 yards per skein. Now, on the labels, this yarn is made in Turkey, and they don't have exactly the same standards for labeling yarn. So they give the grams and the meters on the label, but not necessarily the ounces or the yards or the crochet hook size. They give you the knitting needle size that you could use with this yarn. And they do give you the worsted or the number 4 medium symbol, which is very, very small. But this does not have quite as much information on the label as we would normally see on a yarn that you would get in the US. Now, I should also mention here that not only is this yarn made in Turkey, but if you buy it directly from Ice Yarns, you're buying it from Turkey, and it is shipped from Turkey. And from my experience, generally yarns that are made in Turkey, as far as acrylic yarns go, have a little bit of a different spin, a different twist to them, and they tend to be of slightly nicer quality than a lot of acrylic yarns that are made in China. So I have used 7 skeins of this so far. This project down here is an afghan that I've been making with this yarn. And the pattern for this afghan is coming soon. I will link it down below in the description box once this pattern is available. But so far, from having used 7 skeins of it, I think it is very nice as far as the feel and the quality of the yarn. So as for the feel, it's very soft and smooth. The yarn does not have a plasticky feel to it at all, which is common in some of the super inexpensive acrylics that are available at your local Walmart, for example. So this one does not feel plasticky. It does not have that squeaky feel to it. It just has a very soft, slightly fluffy feel to it. And I really like the way that this feels. It doesn't have any scratchiness to it whatsoever. So I crocheted a whole afghan with this yarn, and I did not find this yarn to be prone to splitting. I also did not find very many flaws in the yarn. So a lot of times if you read the reviews on various yarns at different yarn brands and yarn companies, a lot of times if people dislike the yarn, it's because they were frustrated because it had too many knots in it, or it had flaws in it and they had to cut the yarn and then weave in extra tails. And that can be really frustrating if the yarn has a lot of flaws in it. But from my experience, from the 7 skeins that I've used so far, I had 1 knot and I think 1 little flaw to the yarn where it had a little bit of a split strand coming off of it. Other than that, there was maybe 1 or 2 spots where the yarn got just slightly thinner than the rest of the yarn, but otherwise I didn't have any problems with this yarn. I think 1 knot out of 7 skeins is doing pretty good because occasionally they do have to knot the yarn if it breaks when it's being manufactured. So I think as far as the flaw to amount of yarn ratio, that's pretty good. Because I've had some skeins of other brands of acrylic yarns have multiple knots in the same skein, and that's not fun to have to deal with. So this yarn is available in 39 colors, and that's a pretty good range of colors for your typical worsted weight acrylic. I know there are quite a few other brands that have more colors than that, but that's a pretty good start. And I know that a lot of the time when people are searching for ice yarns, the thing they want to know about most is the price. Because the price, when you're ordering directly from Ice Yarns, is super, super cheap. So when you order from Ice Yarns, their yarns come in packs. So you can't buy an individual skein. You're buying a pack of 2 or a pack of 4, or some yarns come in a pack of 6 or 8, depending on how big they are. So for this particular yarn, this yarn comes in packs of 4. So 1 pack of 4 skeins costs about $5 if you order it straight from their website, which is super cheap compared to a lot of other brands. But one thing that I think deters a lot of people from ordering from Ice Yarns is the shipping cost. And at first, the shipping cost looked ridiculous to me because it charges at least as much as what you paid for the yarn, if not more, in shipping alone. And at first, I wasn't real sure about that, but once I broke it down and compared it to the prices of some other major brands of yarn, especially when you're ordering direct from the yarn company in the US, it still comes out cheaper than ordering from, say, Lion Brand if I were to order a comparable yarn from Lion Brand and have it shipped to my house. So if you want more information on how the prices of their yarns break down, even with the shipping included, I have a whole video on that in my video about my first shipment from Ice Yarns. The link to that video is down below in the description box. But although they sent me this yarn to work with to create a project from for my channel, if I had purchased this yarn myself and ordered the 2 packs of yarn that would have been needed for this blanket, that would have cost me $9.98 in yarn and $12.95 in shipping. So that brings the total cost of the project to $22.93, and that's about $2.86 US per skein. And that's actually not too bad, because by the time you divide that shipping cost between all of the skeins, $2.86 per skein is pretty reasonable and pretty decent compared to a lot of other companies. Now, Knit Picks Brava is slightly cheaper than this. If I were to order 8 skeins of Knit Picks Brava, which the skeins are about the same size as far as weight goes, if I ordered 8 skeins of Knit Picks Brava, it would have cost me $15 and some odd cents, and then another $5.99 in shipping, if I don't have enough in my cart to reach the free shipping minimum. So the total cost from Knit Picks, if I had ordered 8 skeins of Knit Picks Brava and had it shipped to my house, then it would have cost me about $1 less than ordering it from Ice Yarns. So I think that is a pretty reasonable cost compared to places like Knit Picks and other places that sell decent quality acrylic yarns. So if I were to order this, I would order this again, and I would definitely recommend this yarn. It has a very nice feel to it, good quality, reasonably priced, even with the shipping included. So would I recommend this yarn? Yes. Do I think it is better than some yarns like Red Heart Super Saver or Bernat Super Value? Yes. I would compare the texture of this yarn to be something like Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn, but this has a more matte finish to it. I think a lot of the Hobby Lobby yarns have just a touch more sheen. But for the feel of this yarn, I think this is a very good quality acrylic yarn. And I would definitely suggest that if you're looking for a soft worsted weight acrylic that is machine washable, doesn't have any scratchiness to it, and affordably priced, then I would recommend giving this yarn a try. So if you want to shop this yarn at iceyarns.com, I've put a link down below in the description box if you want to go check that out. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you have ever tried ice yarns in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, making sure you click the little bell next to the subscribe button to be notified of new videos. Thanks for watching.